2, 3. If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. Okay. Welcome to the UConn Tonight Show, everyone. We've got a great show for you tonight. But first, let's see what's in the news this week. Detroit Lions player Stephen Tilloch is out for the season after tearing his ACL while celebrating a tackle. The news comes coupled with strange reports of people believing that there is justice in the world again. Charles Schaefer, a former Justice Department prosecutor who investigated the death of John F. Kennedy, said this week that the president's death was likely a conspiracy. He also said that the moon landing was fake, Jay-Z is in charge of the Illuminati, and that aliens are controlling our thoughts.
In a Roma soccer game this week, player Alessandro Florenzi was given a yellow card when he ran into the stands to hug his grandmother after scoring a goal. The card was officially issued for being a sissy little nerd who loves his guam-guam. FIFA Executive Committee member Theo Zwanziger said this week that he does not believe Qatar will be able to host the 2022 FIFA World Cup, as it would be dangerous to play in the over 100-degree temperatures. When reached for comment, one referee said, "Wow, those sissy little nerds can't play in 100-degree heat."
A Los Angeles attorney is being accused of photoshopping herself into pictures of celebrities and political figures and posting them on her website. Wow. Lying about knowing celebrities, that's low. You know, I was talking to my friend Brad Pitt the other week, and he hates when people do that. Hundreds of students at a high schools in Jefferson County, Colorado staged school walkouts this week in protest to new curriculum changes. The protest was mounted by several impassioned leaders and hundreds of students who heard they could skip classes for some protesting.
According to the new billionaire census from WealthX and UBS, the world's billionaires are holding an average of $600 million in cash each, although most have begun transferring it into piles of gold coins and diving into them. Tired of delivery trucks ruining its streets, the city of Bruges has approved construction of a beer pipeline going from a 500-year-old brewery to a nearby bottling factory. Ideas for how to steal from the beer pipeline already have screenwriters working on Ocean's 14, Danny Has a Drinking Problem.
Actor Leonardo DiCaprio gave a speech at the UN Climate Summit urging the world's leaders to take serious action regarding climate change. DiCaprio said that after 17 years of therapy, he is finally ready to forgive icebergs. A Florida woman claiming to have had a third breast added has been revealed as a fraud. That's right. After further investigation, it has been proven that she is not, in fact, a woman.
Congressman Mark Meadows is seeking a ban that would prohibit federal employees from watching, quote, hours and hours of porn at work. When reached for comment, one congressman said, "I'll be out in 5 minutes." Dr. Dre recently topped Forbes' list of the highest earners in hip-hop, earning more than the other top 20 combined. Dre's success is likely due to his massively popular Beats by Dre and his impeccable surgery record.
In Oregon, 2 pot-smoking teens caused an 86-acre wildfire after one dared the other to set some dry grass on fire. The teens said that they were sorry and that they really misunderstood their dare classes. While the teens are the primary suspects, blame is also being placed on Oregon's new fire safety mascot, Pot Smokey the Bear.
Actor Cuba Gooding Jr. was in the news this week when video of him celebrating an NHL halftime puck shooting challenge went viral. The reaction seemed legitimate, although some suspect it was likely a publicity stunt to promote Snow Dogs 2, Dogs on Ice. Bruce Jenner and Kris Kardashian of the popular show Keeping Up with the Kardashians filed for divorce this week. While Kris will continue to appear on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Bruce will star in his own spin-off show, Bruce Jenner Staring Sadly Out Windows.
New York artist Lana Newstrom is making millions from collectors by selling her special brand of invisible art. Newstrom said, "Art is about imagination, and that is what makes my work demands of the people interacting with it. You have to imagine a painting or sculpture if it's in front of you." Inspired by her work, Burger King released its new Imagination Meals. After raising $55,000 on Kickstarter to make a potato salad, Columbus, Ohio resident Zach Danger Brown is using his excess money to rent out the Columbus Commons for a music festival he is calling Potato Stock. Sounds very appealing.
I hope they'll have a mash pit.
Sounds like a lot of people will be pretty baked.
It better be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. A viral video last week showed the first iPhone 6 owner dropping it live on TV, which is also pretty embarrassing, waiting in line to get the iPhone 6. A teacher in Arizona was arrested on suspicion of being drunk while teaching. The student's suspicion began after 2 lectures. "Things I hate about my ex-husband," and "You're my best friend, seriously."
A Chinese restaurant owner has been arrested after allegedly lacing his noodles with opium in order to get his customers hooked. The noodles came in 3 categories: first-time user, I can stop anytime I want, and no, you're the one who needs help. State Farm dropped actor Rob Schneider as a spokesperson this week due to Schneider's anti-vaccination views. Schneider spoke in his own defense, saying he's tired of strange chemicals turning him into an animal and the hot chick and a carrot.
Last week, a wedding reception at a country club near Buffalo, New York, broke out into a violent brawl that involved half of the wedding's 200 guests and had to be broken up by the police. When reached for comment, the couple said that they were hoping to move past this incident and that they forgive Father Stevens for throwing the first punch. A truck full of frozen chickens was found in Montana this week after being abandoned by its driver at least 3 days earlier when his company refused his request for money. The company said that they were panicking about what to do with over 37,000 pounds of rotten chicken. But then they just sold it to McDonald's.
Derek Jeter finished his career at Yankee Stadium last night by hitting a game-winning walk-off single and then ascending back into heaven. This week, the University of Michigan's domestic violence awareness website included withholding sex and affection to the definition of sexual violence. In a related story, every woman I've ever met is guilty of sexual violence.
American Matthew Miller, who was recently sentenced to 6 years of hard labor in North Korea, says he is digging in the fields for up to 8 hours a day. He says it's not the digging that gets him, it's that Shia LaBeouf just won't stop talking. The popular pornography website Pornhub announced this week that it is launching its own record label, prompting hundreds of congressmen to say, "No, I'm just listening to music."
Yes, Pornhub has launched its own record label. Their first major signing is rapper Exhibit, although he's now spelling it with 3 X's.
Alaskan reporter Charla Green quit on live TV this week after admitting that she was the owner of the cannabis club that she was reporting on. She said that she would dedicate all of her efforts to legalizing marijuana in Alaska and walked off the screen.
You know what? I respect that woman.
Yeah?
Yes, and that's why I, the actual owner of Pornhub Records, will be fighting to be taken more seriously by the music community, which starts by not being made fun of college kids on TV. And as for this job, screw it. I quit. Actually, this is volunteer. I can do both.
Yeah, thought so. Welcome to the UConn Tonight Show's first episode of this semester. My name's Tony Tyson, the new host of the show.
I'm Brian Higgins, Tony's new co-host.
Today we're going to start the show with our first guest, Katherine Tibedo, the editor-in-chief of the UConn Daily Campus. Katherine, how are you?
Great, thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming on. We were trying to find someone to come on the show, and I'm really happy. This is start with a great guest for the first show.
Well, it's great to be here.
All right, awesome. So, what year are you?
I'm a senior.
Awesome. And how long have you been involved in the UConn Daily Campus?
So I've been involved with the paper since my freshman year.
Awesome.
So a couple of weeks into the semester, just came in, and it was love at first sight, and I've been there ever since.
Awesome, awesome. How does someone actually get involved in the Daily Campus now?
So we have an open door policy, which means that we take people at any time, any point during the year, in any part of their UConn career. And we meet every Sunday starting at 6 p.m. With our news section. And we get new people pretty much every week. Someone will wander in. Awesome. Not all of them stay, but we have a pretty good retention rate for people who stay and continue to write for us.
Awesome. And what's like the criteria that someone has to meet for them to just be able to write on the show now? Like, what do they, for them to write on the paper? Do they have to meet a certain topics, or what are you looking for really there?
So we have no criteria for our entry-level positions because they're not paid.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so our entry-level positions aren't paid. So there was a lot of debate. That's actually a new change this year. And we went back and forth because we wanted to have some criteria before we started paying you. And the original idea put out there was, well, maybe we'll have everyone who wants to write apply. And we looked over it a lot and decided that we really liked being able to pull anyone off the street and allow anyone who wandered into an office to be able to write an article.
Awesome.
So our compromise was to say, okay, we're not going to pay our campus correspondents who are our lowest level, and that position is it's kind of like an extended internship. It's a trial run.
Okay.
And if, with the encouragement of your direct editors and with my final approval, if you want to apply, you can apply to be a staff or a senior staff writer, who are our paid positions.
Okay.
And those have a little bit more defined responsibility. Those are our writers who are doing the investigative pieces, and, the 2 to 3 articles a week.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, just to get involved, it's really as much or as little as you want it to be.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, I remember when I first got here, because I'm a transfer student, I remember when I first got here, I learned about about the daily campus. I guess you guys used to pay people per article that they wrote. That's what I heard, at least. And I thought to myself, like, hey, well, why can't I just write an article about myself? Hopefully it ends up on the front page. Everyone loves it.
Perfect plan.
Support my DPDO funds for this semester. I'm all set then.
I wrote 12 articles about myself.
See? Brian was ready to go.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
But now he's going to take another unpaid job now.
Right here.
And we do still pay. We just it's just our staff and senior staff writers who get paid for the article.
Awesome. And how do they become like senior staff writers, or how do they become like executive board members? How does that
So we
go?
have an application process. So you come in and you work as a campus correspondent for a little bit. Everyone has to do that. Put your time in. And then you can apply, and it's a really basic application. It's a resume, a cover letter, a writing sample, and then a letter of recommendation, which we prefer to be from one of your direct superiors at the daily campus.
Okay.
Because we're looking at not only the quality of your work, but how committed you are to the daily campus.
Okay. Awesome. So let's say, like I'm in UCTV. I'm heavily invested into this right now. But let's say I wanted to work on the daily campus. Like, let's say for the first semester, I say, hey, I'm going to write like 4 articles as a staff writer, and then I just wanted to move up to executive position. Let's say my superior writes me that letter of recommendation, and I get the job. How much does that really? How much does that pay? That's what I'm saying. Like,
How much do we get?
I'm broke. Just saying.
So our staff writers make $11 an article,
Awesome.
and our senior staff writers make $12 an article.
I like that.
And then our copy editors are paid hourly minimum wage.
I'm okay with that.
I'm leaving now.
Brian, before you leave, just know we need you here for at least for the next interview.
Okay.
You're a very important person
After
here.
that, I'm out of here.
Understandable. Oh man. All right. So, what is like most interesting article that you've seen or that you may have written yourself here?
That's a tough question. I think one of the most interesting articles that I personally didn't write, but all of our coverage of Title IX last year was absolutely fantastic. We were really on top of the ball, and actually the girl who was writing it, Kathleen McWilliams, is actually our managing editor this year.
Awesome.
So she's in charge of getting the paper out every day. But the coverage was it was up to date, and I still remember one of my favorite front pages last year was when there was a Title IX protest on Fairfield Street, and the girls who were involved in the suit were sitting. There was this photo of them sitting at the wall, where there's a circle and and they're sitting and they have tape over their mouths. And it's just this amazing photo. And it was on our front page with this really well-written story. And, it's a paper that I'm very proud of.
That's awesome. That's really awesome, because that was like a huge topic that we had to cover last year, because it was such like a problem that our university had to face, and I had to just kind of face up to and just we have this problem, we need to do something about it at this point. Now we can't just keep ignoring something like this and keep letting stuff like this happen. But it's funny that you bring up that you have someone who is in charge of bringing out the papers. How do the papers get out in the morning? Because how does that work?
Okay, so let me just walk you through how our production works.
Awesome.
So we have 4 types of people mainly involved in production, beyond the writers. We have our copy editors, our designers, and our digital production person.
Awesome.
So copy editors are reading through every story, looking for grammatical, spelling, as well as AP style errors. So AP style is the Associated Press, and it's kind of the set standard for how things work in the paper. So how you abbreviate states, when you capitalize things, titles, things like that. So they go through every single article and proof it and edit it and make sure it's nice and clean. Our designers are then laying out the page. So we have 4 designers. We have 1 person for the news section, which is the first 3 pages, then the life section, the sports section, as well as the opinion page and the games page, which are done by the same person. So they design the page. They come in usually around 6 o'clock, and they're there till about midnight. Some days later, depending on if you have a late story. USG always means it's a late night. But and then we have our digital production person, who does mostly just prepping pictures to go in the paper as well as online. But they will do a little bit of graphic design work when we need something special. So For example, most recently when the USG elections were up, we had a logo in the corner of the paper that said, vote USG, details inside. So they designed that kind of stuff for us as well.
Awesome, awesome. So it sounds like everyone plays like a really important role in this. This is a pretty awesome thing. Brian, do you have any questions, comments?
Why are there no newspaper boys yelling, extra, extra? I think that would be a really good addition to the paper.
So we actually did do that for
Really?
freshman move-in.
That is awesome.
Oh my
We
God.
had people out in North giving out papers to parents. I would love to have newspaper boys out there every day, but they're a little expensive.
If I can do the comical voice, then I'm in.
We'd love to see that out there. I mean, we have to see those pastors yelling at us to tell, making me aware of National Sin Day, apparently. I would love to see some guy dressed up in one of those old English-style costumes, just, hey, extra,
Extra, extra, read all about it.
like, oh, okay, cool. I would definitely just grab it
Yeah.
right there. And not to say I don't take it every time I get breakfast, though.
Yeah.
But especially this morning when I read my article about myself.
With my name in it.
I mentioned Brian, not gonna brag or anything.
He's bringing me up in the world.
But I love reading the Daily Campus every morning.
Thanks for coming on.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Stay tuned for more UConn Tonight Show.
I have something I want to tell you.
So do I.
Really? You go first.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Well, we've been dating for a while now.
It's
and
only been 2 months.
Yeah, I know, but really just want to tell you that I think I'm in love with you.
I met someone else.
What? Who?
We have so much in common. He comforts me when I'm lonely at night. He knows all my favorite TV shows, and his commercials are hilarious. He's the guy for me. I'm in love with him.
But I love you.
Sorry.
What the f?
Hello and welcome back to the UConn Tonight Show. I'm your host, Tony Tyson, along with my co-host,
Brian Higgins.
and our guest today, Kendra Thomas. Kendra, thanks for coming on the show tonight.
No problem.
Good to have you.
Thanks.
All right, Kendra, what are you involved here at UConn?
So I'm a marketing major, and I'm the event coordinator for the Black Students Association. I'm also a member of the UConn Voices of Freedom gospel choir on campus. I'm a resident assistant and alumni. Shout out to alumni. And I think that's pretty much all I have going on right now.
That's all she has going on after that list.
All those things on my
Try to
plate.
get involved more.
That's awesome. So tell us why you're on the show today. What are you advertising for us today? Marketing major.
Okay, well, I'm going to sell you some things now. On October 22nd, I'm also the co-chair for a protest happening in Hartford. On that day, there will be protests throughout the country to stop mass incarceration, police brutality, and the school-to-prison pipeline. So it is my hope, along with the others that are on my committee who are UConn grad students at the Hartford campus, to make a Connecticut movement on that same day. So throughout the country, in New York and I believe in Illinois and other places, there will be their own protests that day. So we wanted to do one in Connecticut that could bring together different schools, different organizations, everyone, and make our voice known in Connecticut as well.
Okay. Is this something that's being advertised by the I know you're involved in the Black Students Association. Is this something advertised through them, or is it through the African American Culture Center also? How does that work?
So I'm actually the co-chair of it, just as being Kendra, not necessarily in a role. How I came to know about the protest was through a friend I had made randomly. So it's more of a Kendra thing, I guess you could say. But I do have the backing from those organizations, as well as different organizations on campus who have teamed up with me and said they want to participate. So definitely they're all involved. I wouldn't necessarily say that BSA is presenting it or the African American Cultural Center is presenting it, but they have come and joined on board with me as I do it, which I greatly appreciate, seeing that they support me as I try to do this. So I would say it's a culmination, but it kind of started as Kendra being out there.
It's awesome. There you go, Kendra. So this movement, this march that you're involved in, this nationwide movement that you're doing, is this in response to anything that's happened recently, or is this like just a great idea that you guys came up with recently?
So it's actually come from a website called StopMassIncarceration.net. I believe they're an organization that has been together for a while, but October is their month of resistance. So I know specifically in the news, dealing with situations like the Mike Brown incident in Ferguson have pushed me to want to do something like this. So, but I believe it's already been in place for a while, and October 22nd is just the day that they want to bring that whole movement together that day. So I believe it's something that has already been in the works, already, been discussed amongst that organization. But the reason why I came on it was, kind of pushed by the Mike Brown incident.
Okay. And for people who just don't understand or are not informed enough on what happened with the Mike Brown incident, what exactly that is, can you just tell our viewers what that is exactly?
Okay. So Mike Brown was an unarmed teenager in Ferguson, Missouri. The story goes that he was at a convenience store and stole something, and that as he was leaving the convenience store, a police officer approached him and his friends, and the story from there goes that Mike Brown put his hands up saying, like, don't shoot, and was ultimately murdered by the police officer. There's a number of variations that go in the story. I know one thing pertains to the officer. He wasn't even responding to the call of Mike Brown robbing the convenience store, what have you, but happened to be in the area and approached Mike Brown and his friends. There's also stories that say Mike Brown kept approaching the police officer after being instructed to not move. So there's a lot of variations on that. The only videos that are really out now show Mike Brown in the convenience store, like pushing the store owner after stealing something in there. So there's a lot of different variations in the story, but ultimately he was an unarmed teenager who was shot and killed.
Okay, all right. Brian, do you have any questions or comments on this?
This isn't a very funny interview right now.
Very, very true. We're touching. we're touching on. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I just usually add the silly things.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything today.
Okay.
That was very well spoken.
Yeah, you did a really good job. So you said this is like a Kendra, quote unquote Kendra thing that but the Black Student Association and the African American Cultural Center is involved with.
Yes.
This is kind of like a separate question. What events do you know are coming up that the African American Cultural Center are hosting, or the Black Student Association are hosting soon?
Well, as it pertains to awareness, we did have a Mike Brown vigil about 2 weeks ago now. As far as awareness things, I believe the next event is the October 22nd. Protest is what we're pushing for. We had on the schedule before to do something in October to raise awareness, but now that the protest came about, I think we're all just going to move forward with that as our way of bringing awareness to the situation. Outside of those things, just as fun events, is that what you want to know?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so we'll add the funny. So we have on October 11th, the Black Student Association will have our annual dating game, where an eligible bachelor or bachelorette sits on one side, and 3 contestants try to win the affection and love of that eligible bachelor or bachelorette. So we have that coming up on October 11th. I'll be the host of that, so that's pretty fun. As well as my friend Carlisle Bethel, and we have music and entertainment from Justice Lopez and the Justice League Entertainment Group. So that should be a pretty fun event. Yeah, that's going to be on October 11th in the Student Union Ballroom.
Awesome.
And it'll be from 6 to 8. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of other things. On October 25th, we do have a trip to the Trail of Terror in Wallingford, Connecticut. It's $20, and you don't have to wait in line. We have a group rate going, so $20 will give you your bus ticket and admission to the Trail of Terror, as well as we're stopping at a restaurant to eat afterwards. So
awesome.
That's fun as well. And I believe that's all we have. So
That's a lot going on. That's still awesome. That's awesome, though. Brian, do you have anything that you want to chime in here?
I'd like to nominate Tony for the dating game.
Oh, for real, that'd be so cool. That would be awesome.
He's on TV.
Exactly. Like, come on.
So what I like, all right, what I have to, how does this process go for me to sign up for this? How would this go?
I mean, you just tell me you want to do it, and I
No.
event coordinator. So
Very true.
I coordinate the event. So if you want to do it, I'll write your name down. I was in it last year as a contestant, and yes, I got chosen.
There you go.
I won the
course.
of the
There you
eligible
go.
bachelor. But hey,
Brag or anything.
not at all. But definitely, if you want to do it, it's not much to do. We give you questions that you might want to ask, like different things.
What's
but
your favorite color?
a little more than that.
What's your favorite bean? Yeah, usual stuff.
Questions that are entertaining at the same time. Like, after a long day at the studio, what's one way that you could help me relax? And then, you ask that to
Okay.
the contestants. They will ask you that.
Foot massage.
Burrito from the Union. Burrito from Moe's.
See, now they know the answer. You're not supposed to tell them.
Oh.
Ladies.
Now you know the way to my heart. Burritos. As long as I get my burritos, I'm happy.
So, if you want to do it, though, I think that'll be so funny, and you can definitely, be a part of it.
That's awesome. All right. I'll definitely talk to you about it.
Okay, cool.
All right. I don't have any more questions. Brian, do you have any?
No. I just really want Tony to be on that.
Okay.
Can Brian do it also?
Yeah.
Okay.
I nominate Brian.
Anyone can sign up. I mean, it's fine with us. Oh, if I can plug in, Black Student Association meetings are on Tuesdays at 6:30, and the following week it'll be at 7:30. So we alternate times, but in the African American Cultural Center.
Awesome. Do you have any social media that you guys use?
We do. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are UConn BSA on all of those. So
Awesome.
Pretty easy to find us. So yeah, we're on all of those. Updates about all of our events and things like that are always up there. So definitely.
Awesome.
And then if you are interested in the protest and being on the mailing list, you can contact us through the Facebook and things like that. 'Cause
Okay.
I don't know if my personal email. So if you go through UConn BSA on our social media, I'll get it. So
Awesome. Right. Well, Kendra, thanks for coming on the show
thank you.
today.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
This is awesome.
Thank you.
All right. And that's it for today's episode.